And back to Philadelphia, and we know that the wind is not going to be a problem for that Eagle, but we don't know about the players. And for an update on the conditions, let's go down to the third member of our team, Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, Philadelphia's state of emergency officially began at 5 this morning as the city braces for Frankenstorm. Here on the field, wind gusts 25 to 35 miles an hour, rain coming in about 2. I spoke with Eagles special teams coordinator Bobby April, who tells me he's especially concerned about his return men and his punters. Conditions like this could move a ball a full inch for a punter, 2 feet for a return man. You can see April here on the field pregame trying to get a sense of the direction of the wind. Challenging thing about that, Dick, is swirling winds affect this field, so what you get pregame may not be what you get in-game.
All right, Jennifer, unpredictable to say the least, and it's 58 degrees, winds 30, and that's the key, because you played in these conditions in Green Bay and Chicago.
Absolutely, and wind affects the game more so than rain, because it's hard to throw the football in wind, and particularly, like Jennifer said, in a swirling wind, you don't know which direction it's going in.
Well, the Eagles won the toss and will defer, so Michael Vick will wait a while before he comes out there. Jacquizz Rodgers is back deep for the Falcons, and so Matt Ryan will handle the ball first, and Alex Henry will kick off for the Eagles wearing their black jerseys. So the 3-3 Eagles, not a must game really, because there's a lot of time left of the season, but looking to turn things around. And the Falcons will begin from the 20-yard line. And of course, John, you talked about and chronicled Matt Ryan's great comebacks, game-winning drives in his last 3 games, and coming back home where he played his high school ball here in Philadelphia.
And some guys just have nicknames. Other guys earn their nicknames. Matty Ice, so appropriate because he plays his best when it matters most.
Falcons normally play, of course, in the Dome when they're at home. Starting from the 20. Handoff to Michael Turner. And Turner, always with the second effort, gets out to the 20-yard line. Well, the Falcons, good offensive team, but not totally satisfied with all aspects of their attack.
And one of the things they're not satisfied is the run game. They're going to try to rectify that today. Mike Smith said it's all about controlling the line of scrimmage and sustaining blocks up front. They worked on that during their bye week.
Second down and 8. Ryan shoved back, and the pass nearly intercepted by Fletcher Cox. And he had it right in his hands. The #1 pick out of Mississippi State. Could have been a huge early turnover, instead incomplete, 3rd and 8.
And a tremendous job by the Eagles defensive line of recognizing the screen. And Fletcher Cox, you said it, Dick, in his hands. Could have been a game changer right off the bat. Sets up a big 3rd and long.
Harry Douglas with knee and ankle injuries, not playing today, so Drew Davis, number 19, will be in his place. Jason Snelling is in the backfield now on 3rd and 8. And here's Ryan's pass, and it's caught by Davis. And Davis will have a first down and get knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And he gets 15.
And Drew Davis, his first NFL reception. He's going to be the 3rd guy in that bunch. If you're the Eagles, who are you expecting it to go to on the first 3rd down? Not Drew Davis, but Matt Ryan. He's going to throw it to the open man. He does, and Drew Davis does his job and converts the first down.
He was on the practice squad all of last year, played his college ball at Oregon. And a first down, and a flag is down, whistle blowing, and Gene Steratore, the referee.
Stop infraction. Offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That was the center, Todd McClure, who had moved a false start there. And of course, going against an Eagle defense now headed by Todd Bowles, who was the defensive backs coach and taking over for Juan Castillo. And he has a distinguished career as a player and has been a reliable coach.
He says it's all about finishing. We've been close, but no cigar. It's time for someone to start smoking cigars, was his line. I loved it.
First down and 15, and here's Turner. And this time the Eagles come around there. Already you can see an inspired Eagle defense. Penetration by Thornton. And let's take a look at the Eagle defense here. And you know they want to punish Matt Ryan today any way they can.
And the strength of this defense is up front. They haven't had the sacks, but they put quarterbacks under duress. Michael Kendricks, he's a fun player to watch. He's fast, but the strength of this defense, in addition to the front line, is those corners. They get up in your face and challenge it.
Loss of 2 brings up 2nd down and 17. And here is Turner again, gets running room, and Turner gets back to the line of scrimmage after that first down and before the penalty and the loss. They're 10 yards shy. Nate Allen, the strong safety, on the tackle. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Falcons on the first possession of the game.
The Falcons are a great 3rd down team, 4th in the league. Matt Ryan said especially this year, 3rd and 10. Usually that's a bad situation. They've been good in this situation. Matt Ryan said it's about taking what they give you.
They thrive on the long yardage. They got one here. Pressure is put on and incomplete to Rodgers. And another penalty marker down. Coverage downfield by Jason Babin, the defensive end. But another flag is down, and preliminary indication is holding. If it's against the Eagles, it'll be an automatic first down.
Holding. Defense. Number 93. 5-yard penalty result.
And it was on
And
Jason Babin on Rodgers, who went out for the pass, and that will give the Falcons a first down.
Now, traditionally, the Eagles have been a rush with your front 4. They blitz, and that leaves Jason Babin, a defensive end, on Jacquizz Rodgers, a 3rd down back. Mismatch. Defensive linemen aren't in that situation much. They tend to panic when the ball comes their way.
So now the ball is at the 42. Rodgers stays in the game at tailback. Rodgers with the carry. Good run up the middle, and a good tackle made by Nnamdi Asomugha. And a 5-yard gain on first down. So, as you pointed out, John, the Falcons pointing to the run early on in this first possession.
Well, for so many reasons, and part of that run game getting going, in my belief, is Jacquizz Rodgers. He's the change of pace back to Michael Turner. They need to get him going. He's averaging 2.5 yards per carry. Dirk Cutter said he's trying to do too much. He gets limited touches. Just do what they give you.
2nd down and 5 near midfield. And the fake end around to Julio Jones, and the handoff to Rodgers, and he is hit immediately by the veteran Trent Cole, holding Rodgers to a gain of 2. We expect rain, as Jennifer mentioned, in about 50 minutes from now. Overcast skies, and the wind has been a factor thus far. Eagles solid on 3rd down defense. Matt Ryan needs 3 yards. Asomugha is following Roddy White. And now going to the slot man Jones. And Tony Gonzalez split to the left. Ryan gets protection and threads the needle, and a first down to the 40 to Roddy White. And so the Falcons, taking advantage of a defensive penalty, getting a first down, get 10 here.
This is one thing when you watch the Falcons. There is such tremendous chemistry between Roddy White, 84, and Matt Ryan. He knows where to find the zones. Matt Ryan has the ultimate trust in him. As a result, the pitch and catch is something you see often on 3rd down, on any down, between those two.
First down at the 40. Michael Turner checks back in the backfield and gets the ball. Turner trying to get ahead of steam, is tackled from behind after a gain of 6. Good block by Tyson Clabo that time. So it's been all Atlanta here since the start of the game. They have had the ball for nearly 5 minutes. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Falcons.
If you're a football fan of the Eagles in particular, you see Casey Matthews out there on defense. We were told right before the game that Michael Kendricks, the outstanding rookie, missed a meeting. He's being disciplined. He's going to miss this first series.
And close to first down yardage is Turner. Brandon Graham making the tackle. So about 3 yards. So there is Casey Matthews, comes from a great heritage of players, doesn't he?
I would
the
say
least.
some decent genes, right? His dad, an all-pro player. His brother's tearing up this league. And, oh, yeah, his uncle was a pretty good player as well in the Hall of Fame.
But they got the starter, Kendricks, back in there, their second-round pick. It'll be 3rd down and 1 outside the 30. And the handoff to Turner, and Turner will get the first down. Let's see where they spot it, however. They be very close. Ball is right on the yellow line, which is an unofficial line, and then they move it back. And Gene Steratore indicates first down for Atlanta. Good bit of ball control on this first possession, John.
Absolutely, and this is what the Falcons do. Matt Ryan, in talking about their proficiency on 3rd down, he said number 1 priority, put yourself in good situations. That was a 3rd and short, easier to convert.
Here's Rodgers going outside. And good pursuit that time. It was Brandon Graham and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie from the secondary, limiting Jacquizz Rodgers to a gain of 1.
It's funny, you'll see more substitution on this Philadelphia Eagles defensive line than any defensive line in football. Someone explained it as it's like a hockey shift. They're in, they're out, 4 in, 4 out.
They come at you in waves. 2nd down and 9. Ryan. And it's caught by Tony Gonzalez. Who's more reliable than that man? An 11-yard pickup and another first down for Atlanta.
Well, Tony Gonzalez leading the league. You're going to see him at the end of the line of scrimmage in receptions coming into today. This is stealing. You get Tony Gonzalez one-on-one, it's stealing with a quarterback like Matt Ryan. Tony said today, I'm getting the one-on-ones because of my guys Julio Jones and Roddy White outside. I'll kill them if they keep doing that to me.
Next TD catch will be the 100th of his career. First down, and here is Rodgers, and Rodgers will be hit, and hit well by Cullen Jenkins, and there'll be a loss of 2. But the Atlanta Falcons have had the ball since the start of this game. And it'll be 2nd down and 12. The ball is at the 20, and normally we'd say, well, it's field goal range easy for Matt Bryant, but today we've got to hold off on that. The wind a big factor. 15th play of this drive. Snelling and Rodgers are in the lineup. 2 running backs. Ryan will flip it out to Snelling. And Snelling gets tackled at about the 15 by Fletcher Cox, getting 5 yards. And I think even with the wind, with whatever it's doing, this would be a chip shot for Matt Bryant.
Now, that's one thing I really like about this young man, Fletcher Cox, a first-round pick in the draft this year. He plays hard. He's obviously very talented, but he plays hard, as does the entire Philadelphia defensive line. Play with a great intensity.
And Michael Vick would like to play hard and get out there. 8-minute drive, 3rd and 7. Here's Ryan going into the end zone, and the pass is caught. Touchdown, Drew Davis. The officials waited to make sure he had both feet in the end zone, and a 15-yard touchdown strike to Drew Davis, the replacement for Harry Douglas, and the Falcons make it pay off with a touchdown.
This is all about deception. You're going to see Matt Ryan fake the screen to Julio Jones. That draws the entire defense to Julio Jones, and Drew Davis, his 2nd reception of his career for a touchdown.
And drags the right toe. And you just talked about how he had the first catch of his NFL career. He gets the first touchdown to cap an 80-yard, 8-minute and 44-second drive. So Matt Bryant for the extra point. And the Falcons couldn't have scripted a better start than they had here. 16 plays, 80 yards, 15 yards to Drew Davis from Matt Ryan. And the Falcons lead it 7-0. Falcons lead at 7-0, scoring on their first possession and using 8 minutes and 44 seconds, and it looked like the Eagles had them at 3rd and 10 on the Atlanta 37, but a holding penalty on Jason Babin, as you pointed out, the mismatch against the running back Rodgers. So Brandon Boykin is back deep, and Matt Bodger will kick off for the Falcons. And a returnable kick 3 yards in the end zone is Boykin, the rookie from Georgia, with a little hurdle move and finally put down at the 16-yard line. So the Eagles will go on offense finally, and Michael Vick comes onto the field. We'll have him and the Eagles when we return. Michael Vick leading the Eagles, and of course responsible for 13. That's more than any player. 13 turnovers this year of the 17 for the Eagles, leading the NFC. Beginning from the 17-yard line. And a drop pass by Brent Celek. Well, the Eagles feel they can run the ball against Atlanta.
Well, and they feel like they need to. They got to start faster. They feel like the equation is to run the football and get it in that guy's hands, LeSean McCoy. You talk about impact players. We all know about LeSean McCoy, and you might be saying, what impact players? Dennis Kelly and King Dunlap? Well, this offensive line has not played well. These guys have been put in this game. They've got to play better to get this offense going.
Michael Vick somehow always seems to come back from adversity and have an impact game. Let's see if it happens here. And here's McCoy, but he's hemmed in. Changes direction. Falcons do a terrific job of getting back, led by Thomas Deku. And good penetration by Jonathan Babineau didn't hurt either.
Well, one of the things that LeSean McCoy told us when we met with him, I think I can get to the edge, and I also think the cutback's going to be there because they over-pursue. Everybody over-pursues except one guy. Thomas Deku makes an outstanding individual play. Otherwise, LeSean McCoy's out the door.
So a loss of a yard. And bringing up 3rd and 11, so we have a drop pass and a loss of a yard. And here's Vick. And a penalty flag is down as Vick is tackled by Deku. And penalty marker here. Deku getting the job done with a couple of timely tackles. And we saw the pink flag. Of course, they're using pink flags for breast cancer awareness today. Apparently picked up, and so Matt McBriar will be punting from the goal line to Dominique Franks and looking for good field position. A line drive kick to Franks, fields it at the 38. And Franks is tackled about 1.5 yards shy of the midfield mark by Kurt Coleman. So good field position for the Falcons, who lead by 7.
Watch that last punt. You're going to see Marty Gilliard, the gunner, and he's going to pull up and I think injure that hamstring, the left hamstring. The Falcons may wish he stays in because that might mean Deshaun Jackson is your punt returner now.
Yeah, Gilliard was scheduled to be the punt returner with Damaris Johnson inactive for this game. First down at the 49 and a screen pass to Jacquizz Rodgers and a good slow up that time. And finally, the tackle is made. It was Thornton who slowed up Rodgers, who gets 5 yards on the play. And the little flag that they picked up was not really a flag, but a towel. It was pink, because they're going to use yellow flags in this game. Only in the Miami Jet game are they using pink. We got that set.
We got that taken care of. Now we see Michael Kendricks. He got his discipline taken care of. But when you're down 7-0, you need your best players in there.
2nd down and 5, and here is Turner. And Turner is pushed back maybe 1 yard.
Dick, we take a look at this last touchdown. I want you to watch this guy right there. Fake to him. The entire defense goes after him. Drew Davis all alone. And you might say, yeah, you're going to go after Julio Davis, but you got to be on your responsibility. Someone's responsible for him. They all went to Julio Jones. Bad ball by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Interesting, they have Jones out there and Roddy White, but they went to Davis, the replacement for Harry Douglas. Now it's 3rd down and 4. Falcons at the 45 of the Eagles. Ryan, and the pass is caught by Julio Jones, and a first down. And right now for a game break, here's Curt Menefee.
Well, Leonard Pope playing the role of Drew Davis for the Steelers, I guess. Only his second reception of the year, and it's for a touchdown. On 4th and goal, Steelers on top of the Skins 10-0. Pretty result in those ugly unis. Dick and John.
How about those uniforms? Turner running up the middle gets good yardage. Nate Allen after a 6-yard pickup. And the Falcons, very impressive, 5 for 5 thus far on 3rd downs.
You know, the other thing they're doing, Dick, right there, we just saw, we couldn't even get out of a Curt Menefee game break because they're up at the line of scrimmage. They are playing with great tempo. Now they've gone back to the huddle, but they change up on tempo. They just snuck one on the Philadelphia Eagles, got good yards out of it.
2nd down and 4. So again, the Falcons are threatening in Eagle territory. Ryan pumps once. And this pass will be a flag down. Julio Jones and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie over there. And the officials are huddling. We'll see if this is a pass interference call against the Eagles, or is it an offensive pass push-off that time on Jones. And another Eagle player is injured.
We have 2 fouls on the same player. First, we have holding defense number 23. That penalty is declined. We also have pass interference defense number 23. That will be a spot foul. Automatic first down.
So it'll be a first down, and Rodgers-Cromartie on the pass interference and a 22-yard pass to Julio Jones. But for the Eagles, you saw Gilliard go out, as we saw it described by John, and now Cullen Jenkins, very important defensive lineman, is also shaken up for the Eagles, who are on their heels right now, trailing 7-0. Well, there's 97 Cullen Jenkins. He appears all right on the sideline, but he's replaced by Fletcher Cox. But as a result of the pass interference call, it'll be 1st and goal just inside the 10 for the Falcons, looking to add more points. Hand off to Turner, and Turner tackled by Graham. No gain with under 2.5 to play here in the first quarter. How about this ball control? Mauling in this first quarter.
And a big part of ball control is converting on 3rd downs, and they've done it perfectly today. Now, a lot of Eagle fans have been clamoring for more blitzing. They've blitzed twice, and it's led to penalties on both occasions. One on Babin, one on Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Big plays. So many weapons for the Falcons. Hard team to blitz.
Be careful what you wish for. 2nd and goal. Ryan goes short to Rodgers, and he is tackled at the 6, picking up 4 yards. D'Amico Ryans, the middle linebacker, not allowing further gain. 3rd and goal now.
You see Matt Ryan, he spreads the ball so well. He's going to take what they give you. They're going to give you Drew Davis, he'll take Drew Davis. You got Julio Jones, you got Roddy White, and oh yeah, the future Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez. Try to deal with all that, it's tough.
Gonzalez, White, and Jones all have 4 touchdown catches. By the way, Cullen Jenkins back in the game for Philadelphia. 3rd and goal from the 7. Matt Ryan, and this pass will be, flag is down, incomplete. But another penalty marker down. And once again, this was Nate Allen closest to the ball.
They're going to get Kendricks on the penalty on Roddy White here, right in the middle of the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Defense number 95. Spot foul. Automatic.
You're right on the
first
money, and
down.
defensive penalties have really hurt the Eagles here in this first quarter in a big way.
Kendricks right here, incredibly athletic guy, but you're asking him to cover Roddy White on this combination. Mismatch again, and when you have a mismatch, guys tend to cheat.
1st and goal at the 6, and Turner. And normally you'd say gang green, but it's gang black with the jerseys for the Eagles. 4-yard gain. Ryans might have been the first in there. And it's 2nd down and goal with a minute remaining in the first quarter.
And if you're the Eagles, not the start you wanted. This is a bad start. They're moving the ball. They're controlling the clock. They're keeping your offense off the field. The 3 and out on offense. You make a stop right here. Make them kick a field goal. That's a win for you. You gotta buckle up right now.
Snelling, the tailback, 2nd and goal from the 3. And Ryan flips it to Snelling, who goes in for the touchdown. You mentioned so many options for Matt Ryan, and they've gone so many ways, and Snelling gets the 3-yard touchdown flip, and it's 13-0 Atlanta. 22nd straight game with a touchdown pass for Matt Ryan.
And look at this. I mean, just a quick screen and a little push by Matt Ryan. And oh yeah, add Jason Snelling to the list of guys you got to watch out for.
Well, that's the point, and you mentioned just about everyone in that offensive roster. Matt Bryant makes it 14-0 with 32 seconds left. They went 51 yards on 8 drives, had good field position, but those defensive penalties killing the Eagles so far. New coordinator Todd Bowles trying to rally his defensive troops, John, here.
And one thing they all said about his demeanor, he's not a yeller, he's not a screamer. He's a guy who's been there before. He's big on communication, everyone doing their job. He'll rally these troops, but it's going to be real tough because the Atlanta Falcons are clicking on all cylinders.
And those defensive penalties, not to take anything away from Ryan, who's 10 of 11 for 80 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Boykin fields it at the 6. Brandon Boykin. And Boykin returns it close to the 35. Special teams play has not been the Eagles' strength so far, but tonight Foxtoberfest continues with our exclusive coverage of Game 4 of the World Series from Detroit. Matt Cain scheduled to take them out for the Giants, trying to wrap it up against Max Scherzer and the Tigers. Legends are born in October, and our coverage of the Game 4 of the World Series begins tonight following the OT here on Fox. And talk about pitching, the Giants have had it in this World Series. Michael Vick looking one way, going up the middle, completes to Jason Avant and getting about 9.
Dick, we talked about starting fast. This is not what the Eagles wanted. It's hard to start fast as an offense when the other offense is on the field the entire first quarter, which the Atlanta Falcons have been.
And that should be the end of the first quarter. And how about 13 minutes time of possession to less than 2? It's 14-0 Falcons, and Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter here in Philadelphia on a windy, overcast day, and they ought to tilt that key stats in favor big time of the Atlanta Falcons. We'll see how Michael Vick and company respond on 2nd down and 2. And there is the sprint out design, and this pass incomplete. And the 2 Falcon defenders were around the receivers of the Eagles. Robert McClain actually got a hand on it. It was Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin downfield.
And really just a throwaway by Michael Vick. Everyone's covered. He threw it towards the sidelines. Protecting the football is the key. A little loose there with the ball. McClain got his hands on it. Got to be real careful. The key stat really in this game, we talked about all the yards, it's 3rd down. The Falcons are 5-5. The Eagles are 0 for 1 today.
3rd and 2. Bryce Brown is the tailback. So McCoy hasn't been in the last 2 plays. Pass caught by Jackson. Dives for the 1st down. So the Eagles finally convert a 1st down. Hard to believe they only have 7 points in the first quarter all year. McClain missed the tackle, and they get 3. That was enough.
You look at this, the Eagles call it muddle. Watch Croy Bierman, defensive lineman. He's going to become your free safety. It presents a lot of challenges. Andy Reid, Michael Vick said it also gives a lot of indicators. They've got a good feel, they felt, as to what the Falcons are going to be in when they do give that muddle look.
McCoy back in the lineup. 1st down, gets the handoff. Nothing. Maybe a yard. Kurt Menefee, game break.
Well, across the state in Pittsburgh, RG3 and the Skins going for it on 4th and goal. He connects. Santana Moss with a touchdown. And the extra point was blocked, so it's a 10-6 game early on in the second quarter. Steelers still with the lead. Dick and John?
All right, and Jennifer Hale as well down on the field. And love those Steeler old-time uniforms, don't you? 2nd down and 9. Play clock is down to 3. Vick's pass, and it's caught by Macklin. Still shy of a first down by about 3 yards.
Vick gets them in the right play, gets a nice completion to Macklin. Boy, he did take that right down to 1 tick right before the second clock went out, but good accurate football to Jeremy Macklin. Short throws against these off corners from the Falcons was part of their game plan.
3rd and 4 from midfield, and here's Michael Vick. He's going to run for it and get the first down. Well, Michael Vick runs and gets 7 yards. His rushing total this year after 6 games is the lowest of his career.
And I like this. I think they're going to cover you up. You go to all your different options. You've got a great asset if you're Michael Vick. Michael Vick told us earlier this year, John, I was nervous, quite frankly, about getting injured. I was trying to protect myself. I got to go play football. He's been doing it better lately. That helps move the chains.
That was a great admission by him.
It was.
When we talked to him the other day. So a first down at the 42 of Atlanta. This is a big possession, by the way, for the Eagles, even though it's still early second. Pressure caught by Selleck. Not easy to bring him down. Nicholas makes the tackle, and only 2 yards on the play, but the Eagles get to the Falcon 40.
We talked about Nicholas making the tackle. One of the things that the Falcons worked on during the bye week, if you're going to blitz, you're going to have one-on-one situations. Now you got to make the tackle. Stephen Nicholas does a great job squaring them up. Croy Bierman comes along. That's good tackling.
Now 2nd and 8. Fake the run, and here is Macklin. Macklin first down. Good blocking by Dunlap in front of him, and a first down for the Eagles to the 29 of Atlanta. They'll get 12 out of it.
Again, we talked about the short passes. Asante Samuel, Dante Robinson, they're corners that like to play off the line of scrimmage. So you get short throws, you get it in your receivers, your skill players' hands like Jeremy Macklin, and you follow big 6'10" King Dunlap. Yeah, I said it, 6'10".
Regained his starting spot after Demetrius Bell had that position. Here, tripping on the handoff is LaShawn McCoy. And it was Havili, the fullback, who got a piece of him and only gets 2 yards. That's pretty tall for any player in the league.
Well, it's not just King Dunlap. You look at 6'9", it says for Dunlap. Andy Reid says he's 6'10" all day long. Mathis 6'5". Dallas Reynolds 6'4". Dennis Kelly 6'8", and your right tackle 6'6". Looked like a basketball team, not a football team.
They'd be taller than some teams. Who knows? 2nd down and 8. And we'll have an offsides penalty against Atlanta. John Abraham may give the Eagles 5.
Infraction. Defense number 55 was in the neutral zone, causing a false start. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
You see King Dunlap coming at a little DB, Thomas Deku. What do you do when he's coming at you? I say low man wins. You go low on the big man.
Easy for you to say. 2nd and 3. Here's McCoy. First down. And LaShawn McCoy fights his way inside the 15 for a gain of 7 yards. Deku coming up to make the tackle. So the Eagles trying to make it pay off. Looking for 7 here.
And I like this. This is what you got to do. You got to feed number 25, LaShawn McCoy, one of your best players. You get this guy some space, he will make some things happen. You're starting to see the tempo, the execution by the Philadelphia Eagles offense because they finally have the ball.
And they felt they could do something against this Atlanta defense like this. McCoy with the run inside the 10. Good first down run as he gets 7 again.
You watch this offensive lineman, Todd Hermans creates the hole. Dennis Kelly, the right guard. Dallas Reynolds, the center. That's good execution from an offensive line that's been struggling. You talk about struggling. The Atlanta Falcons, for all the good they've done, 28th in the league in rush defense. They're taking advantage of it, are the Eagles right now.
That's surprising that they are so low in that position. Bryce Brown has come in at tailback. Second down and 3 at the 7. And they'll give it to Brown. Going wide. Brown will get the first down. Great fighting by Brown. Whistle blows the play dead. McLean will make the tackle. And it'll be first and goal after the 5-yard pickup.
I'll tell you one thing Philly fans love. They love guys that fight. And that's tough running by Bryce Brown. You better take care of that football. But they like that second effort. They let you better take care of that football, Bryce Brown, or you're not going to be playing anymore.
They're working on LaShawn McCoy on the sideline. Meanwhile, Bryce Brown, who was the 7th-round draft pick from Kansas State, how well are they playing this year?
Pretty darn good, Kansas State. That Bill Snyder can coach.
First and goal at the 2. Whistle, and Andy Reid is out on the field.
Delay of game. Philadelphia's sideline had called a timeout. Will be their first timeout of the half.
So the Eagles call a timeout in this position. Threatening. Eagles calling their first timeout. They were working on LaShawn McCoy's left hand.
Happened on this play. His hand gets hit in between his body and the Thomas Deku, and you see at the end of this play him flinching that hand. Got to protect the football.
But McCoy is in there at first and goal at the 2. Here's McCoy. Touchdown. Well, they tested him on the sideline, passed all the tests, and then he passed the big one.
And you know what you do when you hurt your left hand? You put it in your right hand and you go score a touchdown. You're going to watch LaShawn McCoy. Good blocking again. Avant puts the edge on it. Put it in that right hand. Stiff arm your old teammate Asante Samuel. Touchdown, LaShawn McCoy.
On the 13th play of the drive, and a very timely score for the Eagles, who needed it badly. And now Alex Henry for the extra point. And it's 14-7 as LaShawn McCoy, with his second touchdown rushing of the year, brings the Eagles back in a key game for them. Well, that'll cheer you up, scoring a touchdown, and for the Eagles using 7 minutes and 14 seconds, keeping their defense off the field. Significant here, coming back in the game now, trailing 14-7. Vic 5 for 6 with mostly, obviously, short passes in that drive.
Impressive drive by the Eagles. They answered right back. Michael Vick answered right back. They started establishing some rhythm as an offense.
Rodgers is back deep. Jacquizz Rodgers returning from the 3. Room up the middle, and finally tackled at the 27. And the ball
Ruling
comes
on the
loose.
field is that the runner was down by contact. First down, Atlanta.
See Rodgers come at the end of this play, and it is down by contact. That ball does come a little loose. He secures it, then the ground causes the fumble.
So Matt Ryan comes back on the field, has just 1 incompletion in 11 attempts, 80 yards, and picking up where he left off before the bye week, has thrown 2 touchdown passes. Falcons starting from their 27. Fake handoff to Turner, and there is Roddy White. Holds onto the ball and gets the first down to the 41, where Kurt Coleman provides the hit. And a 14-yard pickup, and a flag is down right about the 40.
I think this is going to be, it was a hard hit in the middle of the field. These days, typically, you have a hard hit in the middle of the field, it's going to be about the player's safety. You see Kurt Coleman come up.
There is no foul for contact with the defenseless receiver. The contact occurred after possession. The result of the play is a first down, Atlanta.
And that pick right there is a great job by Gene Steratore and that crew getting together. They're told to call that. They're told to err on the side of calling the flag. That's just good, hard football. Roddy White had possessed the ball, now was a runner. They got together, they got it right. Good job by the officials.
1st and 10 at the 41. In motion is Snelling, wide to the right. Another flag is down, and flip pass out to Rodgers. He has a first down, still going, and is stopped at the 44 of the Eagles, but a flag back down near the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation. Offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
And that nullifies a 15-yard gain by Mike Smith's Falcons.
You look at that last play. Now, they got the penalty, but again, Todd Bowles said it better than anyone could. Someone's got to smoke cigars. No more coming close. They had people right there. You got to sack Matt Ryan. You got to finish the play.
That's their strategy. They want to hit him, not necessarily always sack him. They want to make it tough for him, even when he gets rid of the ball. Provide the hit. 1st and 15. And the handoff is to Turner. And Turner gets a couple of yards. Kurt Coleman on the tackle. Well, you've noticed the pink cleats, and a reason, and a good one. Join the NFL and the American Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer by supporting the A Crucial Catch campaign. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid now on authentic NFL pink gear worn by players and coaches. And even Gene Steratore has pink trim on his white hat today.
Outstanding commitment by the NFL all around the league to breast cancer awareness.
2nd down and 14. Back on the 37. Ryan going up on top. And Julio Jones. And Julio Jones near the goal line. Touchdown. Beating Asamoah. And then Nate Allen, the safety, for a 63-yard touchdown. And Ryan picking his spot perfectly.
And Nnamdi Asamoah, one of the best bump and run corners, but I've always said there's two things, bump and run or run and pray. This is the run and pray, and when you're going against the guy who runs a 4-3, run and pray doesn't work. Julio Jones just flat out outruns Nnamdi Asamoah. You got to get your hands, do some damage at the line of scrimmage, or this will happen. Julio Jones can fly. He's got a quarterback that can get it to him. Beautiful execution again by the Atlanta Falcons.
And the longest pass play of the season by Matt Ryan and company. And of course, they review all scoring plays and turnovers this year. And did he get in?
Touchdown.
Ball over the pylon. It's a touchdown. And the Falcons with a very big score answering the Eagles touchdown now. Looking to make it 21-7 is Matt Bryant. So Ryan with 3 touchdown passes and 157 yards. And it's now 21-7. So Matt Ryan from Penn Charter has 100 family and friends. He said, I got a big Irish Catholic family. They'll be tailgating. Will they wear my jersey? I don't know. Only if they're brave. We've had some long drives. This was a quick one. 3 plays, 73 yards. And the longest pass play of the year, 63, to Julio Jones' 5th touchdown catch of the year, 17th touchdown for Ryan, who has 3 in this game. So how do the Eagles respond? You know, they told us they need to finish games. They got to be in position to finish games, John.
Absolutely. Right now, they have no answer for Matt Ryan in this Atlanta Falcons offense.
And the Eagles will start at the 20. Well, last week, the Fox Sports family lost a cherished member. Sideline producer Lou Tribbiani was a proud Philadelphian who attended college here at Villanova and was a lifelong Eagles fan. He's survived by his wife Lori, daughters Tiffany and Taylor, and countless friends and relatives who will miss him dearly. Well, if you want to talk about omens, John, how about this one? And we still have 6:33 to go in the second.
A lot of football to be played, though, and records are made to be broken, as they say. And the Eagles offense just got to keep doing what they did last drive. They established the rhythm. They got to keep that going.
Corey Peters is in the lineup for the Atlanta defense, and there comes the blitz. And the pass is caught by Jackson. Jackson with a good run after the catch. And he'll get the first down, picking up 12.
And they stick with the short throws. They've got tremendous skill players. Get the ball in their hands, let them do work. We're so used to seeing Deshaun Jackson going over the top of people. Get it to him quick and let him do some work there.
Corey Peters active for the first time, injured his left foot in the offseason. So the Falcons delighted to get him back in the rotation up front.
Right now they're playing a defense in which they have 3 defensive tackles: Peters, Joseph, Babineau, along with John Abraham.
First down at the 32. And the Eagles will call their second timeout of this first half with just under 6 minutes to go. So Michael Vick, who is 6 for 8, but all short passes. Eagles coming back with a touchdown after falling behind 14-0, only to see the long bomb extend the lead for the Falcons. Well, Fox Tuesday celebrate Halloween with a monster all-new night of comedy that'll scare you silly. It's an all-new episode of Raising Hope, Ben and Kate, New Girl, and The Mindy Project, all starting at 8/7 Central this Tuesday on Fox.
It's a hard thing to do, Dick, if you're Andy Reid, is tell your offense, you guys are doing fine. We'll get the defense taken care of. You guys keep doing what you're doing out there, because this offense is moving. They're really starting to establish some good rhythm.
They have 70 yards, 40 through the air, 30 on the ground, so it's been balanced. First down, handoff, McCoy. And a couple, that's all. Kurt Menefee with another game break. Take it away, Kurt.
Well, it looks like the Packers are really getting things going all around. This on special teams. Devin House blocks the Jacksonville punt. Desmond Moses recovers in the end zone, and they are up 14-3 at home over the Jaguars. Just about 7 minutes left before halftime, Dick and John.
All right, thank you, Kurt. NFC Central. The Bears, Packers coming back into it. See how the Vikings respond from their loss. Next week, 2nd down and 9. Pass underneath to Avant. And it'll be 3rd down and short, as everything Michael Vick has thrown so far has been short or screen passes.
Well, that's because that's what the Atlanta defense has given them, and that was a game plan thing. If they're going to play off, we got to take what they give us. You do that long enough, they start playing a little tighter, then you go over the top.
3rd down and 3. Vick takes off. This was a design run, and he gets a first down. Quarterback draw. And a 4-yard gain. First down for the Eagles up to the 43.
And the interesting thing, Mike Nolan and this Atlanta defense, they're waiting for it. Watch Croy Bierman. They know this is what's coming. He's spying Michael Vick. Just can't do anything about it because there's good blocking up front, and you got a tremendous athlete at quarterback. Sometimes you know, they know who's going to execute.
Vick completes it to Macklin, and Macklin holding on to the ball as the Falcons trying to jar it loose. Asante Samuel, who was traded by the Eagles and coming back to the Link. An 8-yard gain there. There is Samuel. He was traded for a 7th-round draft pick, and he said this was an emotional game coming back here. And, of course, his new coordinator is Mike Nolan.
And he said about these fans here, they better cheer me. They better not boo me. You're in Philly, Asante. You know better.
Well, Sean McCoy, and that time Sean Weatherspoon. He pointed out at the beginning of the game, the likes of Abraham, Weatherspoon, and Samuel, they have top-shelf players in every area.
Absolutely, and Sean Weatherspoon's really a good one. I think this linebacking core has left a little to be desired in their play this year, but not that guy. 56, he's been all over the field. He finishes plays. He's a big boy. We saw him. He's the guy who put the concussion on Robert Griffin, but a big-time player.
Having a big-time year, so now another 3rd down situation for the Eagles. Vick Incomplete, and a good defensive play. Avant, defended by Chris Owens, who got a hand on it. Textbook play defensively, bringing up 4th down.
And a really good play by Chris Owens, because if he doesn't knock this out, touchdown. Croy Bierman's playing the free safety. Avant gets by him. It's out the door. Very nice play by Chris Owens, getting that left hand on the ball.
So it's 4th down, and Matt McBriar will be kicking it to Dominique Franks with just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Hardly what the Eagles and their fans had hoped for coming off the bye week. Fair catch at the 9. So Michael Vick, maybe a little bit of frustration at this point. 8 for 11, only 7 on the board, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Well, you're looking at the wind turbines here in Philadelphia as the Eagles continue their effort to become the greenest team in the NFL. And the parking lot covered with solar panels as well. Talk about progress. Talk about Atlanta scoring 3 touchdowns on 3 possessions so far in this game. And a first down handoff to Turner, who brings it out to the 13-yard line.
You like the mix that the Falcons have going. You see touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. And the equation is we got to be sound on our game plan. There was going to be some unknown. Todd Bowles, the new defensive coordinator, the unscouted looks, as Mike Smith said. We asked Matt Ryan, how do you prepare for unscouted looks? He said, you got to be rock solid in your own game plan. They have been today and some.
They thought they might see something in red zone or 3rd down situations that may be different. 2nd down and 6. From the 13, Ryan completes the pass to Gonzalez, and he has a first down out to the 20 with Nate Allen hanging on. And we're down to the 2-minute warning here at the Lincoln, Philadelphia on a cloudy day. Wind expected to pick up. It's picked up for the Falcons. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Dick Stockton along with John Lynch and Jennifer Hale, 1st and 10 for the Falcons. From the 20. Eagles have not been able to get to Matt Ryan thus far. Ryan will take off. Slides for the first down beyond the 30.
You look at Dick, this is an area where the Eagles frankly thrive. At the end of the 2 minutes of either half, Matt Ryan thrives. First in completion percentage. That wasn't a misprint. 81% of his passes. They focus on it and they execute in these situations, and it helps them win games.
And the hurry up helps him get upfield in a hurry. Rodgers the last time. Rodgers again. He got 10 yards on the previous play. And he comes back with 1 here. And the Falcons still with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 2nd down and 9 at the 41. And this pass to Gonzalez. Flag is down upfield. Catch is made for 12 yards pending the call. Interesting graphic indeed, because the Falcons pride themselves on getting points before intermission as well as at the end of games.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 95. Declined. Result of the play is a first down.
So Michael Kendricks called for holding, 12 yards. How reliable is Gonzalez with 3 catches for 30 yards?
Unbelievable. And all I can say is, Michael, my friend, I've been there. I've been all over Tony Gonzalez, and he just brings them in. That's what he does.
You like it better up here.
Absolutely.
And this one through the hands of Roddy White, covered by Dominique Cromartie. 2nd down and 10. This crowd getting a little antsy right now. John Lynch expected a little bit more here, and they're looking at the Falcons, who started deep within their end zone. Now in Eagle territory to the 48.
The thing I like, if they can just make some stops, I like the way the Eagles offense, they're starting to really get some things going, but you got to find an answer for Matt Ryan.
What a gap for first half scoring. Negatively for the Eagles. 2nd and 10. Pressure coming this time. And the pass is caught by Julio Jones, ridden out of bounds by Brandon Boykin. But not before a 6-yard gain, and the clock stops with 47 seconds.
Dick, the thing you see with the Atlanta Falcons, not just weapons, these are big people. Julio Jones is a big receiver, 6'3", 220. Tony Gonzalez at 6'5", 250. Roddy White, 6 foot, 211. I don't believe that. I played against him. I think he's 215, 220. These are big people. Michael Turner, a 250-pound back. They can run, and they're big men.
Jones caught a 63-yard pass for a touchdown, the big play of this game. This is the 9th play here. And Ryan, in stride, completes the pass to Roddy White. And White has a first down at the 28-yard line, getting 14 yards. And the Eagles have not been able to come close to Matt Ryan in this first half. And a timeout called by the Falcons. And right now, let's check in with Curt Menefee. What's in store at halftime, Curt?
Coming up on the Visa halftime, we'll have highlights from a busy week 8, including the Patriots taking on the Rams in London, and the Dolphins looking to upset their division rival Jets. Join Terry, Jimmy, and we'll get Michael and Howie somewhere on the Visa halftime.
Calm before the storm in our studio in L.A. Meanwhile,
they're chilling.
We've seen the storm in the person of the red and black of the Falcons. First down on the 28. That was the first time out by Atlanta. They have 2 left. Screen pass to Rodgers. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie is hit by Nate Allen. Picking up 2 yards, half a minute to go.
And you can see Todd Bowles clearly making an attempt to be a little bit more of an aggressive defense, get up in people's faces. As we said before, maybe the wrong team to do it against because they'll make you pay.
And this one is nearly intercepted. Getting in front of Gonzalez was Kendricks, the linebacker, and nearly picked one off.
Well, 2 guys from Cal Berkeley from different eras, and that ball's the first mistake Matt Ryan's made today. Kendricks darn near, but again, we talk about finishing. Someone's got to smoke the cigars. They're not doing it.
Well, the Eagles have a chance to do it here as Kendricks, who did not start because of disciplinary reasons, has been in there ever since. 3rd down and 8 from the 26 of the Eagles. 3 wide receivers lined up to the left, including Gonzalez in the slot now on 3rd down and 8. And here is Matt Ryan in trouble. Ryan is going to finally be hit by Cullen Jenkins. A 1-yard pickup, and the clock stopping with 6 seconds to go. Timeout Atlanta. And they'll put the field goal team on the field to try to get 3 more.
Now this won't count as a sack, but what an outstanding job by this defensive line, just relentless in their pursuit of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, a great job of extending time, not making the big mistake. You're in field goal range. Let's live to see. We got a really good kicker in Matt Bryant. Let's not make a mistake. Let our kicker go ahead and kick a field goal.
Visa halftime coming up. Pats and Rams are in London town. RG3 taking on the Steelers, all coming up. This will be a 43-yard attempt. Bryant, with the wind at his back, can boom him. He had a 55-yarder earlier. And Matt Bryant's kick is good, and the Falcons get 3 more with 2 seconds on the clock as Bryant now 14 of 15 on the year. And Atlanta extends their lead to 24-7. And once again, John Lynch, as you pointed out, the Falcons always strike toward the end of intermission, which really bodes well for them.
Well, they do it better than anyone. And you think you're ahead, it distances you even more. You're behind, it gets you a little closer. It provides momentum going into halftime. It's one of the little things this team does so well that turns into a big thing, namely wins.
So there you saw 2 of the receivers that are a factor, and 2 seconds left. And it's been all smiles for Matt Ryan, who's completed 17 of 20 for 197 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, They've scored on all 4 of their possessions this half.
Nearly flawless. You know, when you look at that last drive, Michael Kendricks, a rookie, an outstanding rookie. I think he's going to be a really good player. There's a difference between good and great. You make a good play by knocking it down. A great play is intercepting the ball, and then maybe you go get some points. Instead, you get 3 points for the Falcons.
So the Eagles, who have had a history of starting slowly this year, and continued today, even after the bye, and there's a kick onto the ground. Want to use the time, and they have 1 second remaining. And I don't know what the Eagles will do with 1 second left.
By rule, when a player possesses a punt and gives himself up immediately, 1 second is taken off the clock. There is 1 second remaining in the first half. Philadelphia ball.
So the Eagles, Michael Vick will come on for that 1 second.
I tell you what, nobody better than Gene Steratore in terms of giving a clean, crisp explanation.
Decisive.
Yeah.
Yep. Andy Reid coming in 13-0 following the bye week. And to say that is in jeopardy would be a huge understatement. And the handoff to McCoy will end the first half. And the crowd showers boos down on the field, looking for more, but they had to contend with that man who's had a brilliant first half, leading the Atlanta Falcons, who have scored on all 4 of their possessions, 3 of them touchdowns. And Andy Reid and company have a lot to talk about during intermission. 24-7 in favor of the Falcons, who coming in have averaged nearly 29 points per game in the year. And it's been all Atlanta, and Matt Ryan showed, to say the least.
Well, Matt Ryan's been nearly flawless today. 17 of 20, 3 touchdowns. He's gotten the ball out of his hands. He's got great weapons outside. A guy we never heard of, Drew Davis, caught one early. Snelling on the little quick screen, and then Julio Jones with the big one down the field. If you want to go one-on-one with this team, watch out, because they'll make you pay.
So if you're the Eagles, you know, you wonder what you're going to do here, down 24-7. You do get the ball to start because you deferred to start the game, but they just don't look like they have gained much from the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you keep saying you got to find an answer for Matt Ryan. The key, and it sounds simple, you got to finish plays. You're close, you're pressuring them, sack them. You're close to interception, make the interception. That's what's got to start happening for the Philadelphia Eagles. I like the way, as I keep saying, their offense is moving the ball.
Now, they haven't moved it. You say they're taking what the Falcons defense is giving them right now. And, you know, it's at some point they're going to have to take some shots, and when they can, I guess.
Well, and their defense got to help them out. They're putting them in bad situations, as Howie Long said in our pregame show. Put them in good situations, they'll thrive.
All right, 24-7 the score. We now go to Kurt Menefee in L.A. for the Visa Halftime Report, which starts now. And we haven't seen the rain yet. Well, then Hurricane Sandy is approaching. We've had some wind, but that hasn't been a huge factor thus far, as the Falcons lead 24-7. Chance to follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. And one of the things that Andy Reid told us when we met with him on Friday was that we've got to get in the face of Matt Ryan. They have no sacks, no hits, 3 hurries is all they've done.
And when you give Matt Ryan time to throw the football with all these weapons, he will eat you up, and that's exactly what he's done to the Philadelphia defense.
Brandon Boykin is back deep. The Eagles deferred to start the game, so they get the ball to start the second half. A line drive kick, and Boykin will run it out. And dragged down at the 16. Right now, let's go down to Jennifer Hale.
Well, hi, Dick. I spoke with Coach Mike Smith at halftime, and he said he impressed upon his defense. You've got to get better at stopping the Eagles on third down. Not happy at all with how efficient his defense has been on that particular down. He is, however, very pleased with Matt Ryan's presence in the pocket against this Eagles home crowd. He says Ryan is taking what the Eagles are giving him and making it work. Dick?
All right, Jennifer, no coach is ever happy. So they're 3 for 5, the Eagles, on third downs. How about his team missing just 1 and 7? First pass is caught by Maclin, coughs it up, and then rule it incomplete. An incomplete pass, and Asante Samuel putting on the hit. But those are the balls they've got to hold on to.
Absolutely, but you know, I think Mike Smith will be happy with is his team's tackling. That's one thing, as you see the great play by Asante Samuel getting the ball out. You got to tackle against this group because they're so explosive. Maclin, Deshaun Jackson, McCoy, they've done that well in the first half.
2nd and 10 from the 17. Vick's pass caught by Deshaun Jackson. He'll get a first down just shy of the 30. Tackled by Dante Robinson, gets 13 yards. Well, when the Eagles are trailing by 17 or more at the half, well, they won 3 games. And
that's not good. That's not good. But like I said, you can always change history, but in order to do that, you've got to play with some urgency. You've got to finish everything you do.
That was the 3rd catch of the game by Jackson. First down from the 29. They fake to McCoy, and Vick will carry it himself, protect the ball as Bierman brings him down. 4-yard pickup.
This is, I think, a page out of the Washington Redskins playbook. A little spread option with Michael Vick. Remember, the Redskins played the Falcons just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure they look at the film and they said, hey, Robert had some success. We can do the same thing with Michael. The problem is you take hits when you run the football on that kind of plays.
Now McCoy is split out to the right, guarded by Samuel, and there is Vick up the middle, and it's caught by Brent Selleck. And Selleck with a first down just shy of midfield, getting 16 yards. 2nd catch of the game by Selleck.
And I think Selleck's one of the guys who can really get going. There's a lot of focus on Deshaun Jackson and Maclin, which leaves one-on-ones with Selleck on Stephen Nicholas. The Eagles, I promise you, like that matchup. We'll see if they can take advantage of it.
The Eagles have rushed for 3.5 yards from the 49 of Philadelphia. Slant. Deshaun Jackson breaks the tackle. Getting inside the 30, and Jackson going out of bounds. The biggest play of the game offensively for the Eagles. They get it to the 19, and it was Samuel who missed the tackle on Jackson.
And you see all that distance off. When you have that distance, the tackle becomes tougher, and a guy like Deshaun Jackson will make you pay. Look at him put that foot in the ground, and he is off. That's pure speed. You're talking about a track athlete right there, Deshaun Jackson. He can go.
A 32-yard play. So Deshaun Jackson, who's having a big year, even though he only has 1 touchdown catch, has been open a lot this season. And a first down at the 19 of the Falcons. Play action for Vick. And Vick sees running room. Tripped up as he gets to the 15-yard line. Ball jarred loose. And down by contact. Indicated right there at the line after the gain of 4.
2nd down, Philadelphia.
See Ray Edwards, good call by Gene Steratore and his crew, but again, that's not a good sign. This has happened too much this year. Michael Vick, the ball coming loose. He talked about it. There's no science to it, John. I just got to protect the football better. Good thing for him, it was the ground that caused it rather than the Falcons.
17 turnovers, only Kansas City had more, and 13 of them by Michael Vick, more than any player in the league. Now once again, Jackson, or I should say McCoy, wide to the right, trying to create a mismatch. And the pass to Selleck is broken up nicely by William Moore. And it'll be 3rd down and 6. John, they're bringing LaShawn McCoy 2 of the last 3 plays split wide to the right. Now he goes to the top to the left.
This third down situation, Michael Vick's been very good this year. He's the third-rated passer in the NFL with 107 rating. He says you just want to stay on the field on third downs.
3rd and 6, gets hit as he throws. And so Michael Vick is pressured by Sean Witherspoon, the outside linebacker who comes in, and now the Eagles will send their field goal team on. Shaken up a bit, it looks like.
Watch Michael Vick back in the pocket, and the pocket's going to collapse. Sean Witherspoon gets in, pressures him, puts a hit on Michael Vick. Vick taking some hits on this drive.
So Alex Henry is aboard with a 33-yard field goal attempt. And the kick is good, and the Eagles on their first possession of the 3rd quarter get 3 and now trail 24-10. Alex Henry with the 33-yard field goal, and the Eagles trailing now 24-10. Remember, Marty Gilliard went out earlier with a hamstring pull. He was supposed to be their punt returner today, and he will be out the rest of the game as the wind blows the ball off and will start again.
And now, Dick, you know, it sets up all right for the Eagles if you have Deshaun Jackson as a punt return. The problem is you can't get Atlanta to punt because Matt Ryan's been so proficient.
And we've seen this before. The Falcons have scored on 4 possessions in the first half, and now you inch closer with a field goal. Obviously wanted a touchdown, but that's why a defensive stop may be imperative for the Eagles.
Critical.
Yep.
Critical. You got to have it. Easy to say, hard to do.
With that man. I don't know about passer ratings. They're hard to figure out, but when you're 17 for 20, 197, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
That's good.
Falcons will start from the 20-yard line. And if you're looking at their offensive leaders with 24 first half points, they look like this.
And that's good. Matt Ryan playing good football. Michael Turner, they're not necessarily doing a great job running the football, but they're doing it enough that sets up the one-on-ones for guys like Julio Jones outside that can take advantage of those one-on-ones with his flat-out speed.
You know, they are averaging 2.9 rushing, and so you say that's not good at all, but the point is that they're averaging nearly 29 points a game. They got 24, doing something right.
Mike Smith said we want to be a scoring offense, not a running or passing offense, a scoring offense.
Michael Turner up the middle. Nate Allen first to meet him in a gain of 3. And the one thing about Dirk Cutter is that Matt Ryan says he sticks to what's working. He doesn't say we've got to get more balance here.
Yeah, you know, we asked him what he liked best of him as a play caller 6 games into their career working together, and he said exactly that. He doesn't do things just because percentages say he should. If something working, he doesn't deviate from it.
2nd down and 7. End around Julio Jones. And Jones gets around Rogers Cromartie and picks up some decent yards. 9 to be exact.
If you're Rogers Cromartie right there with Julio Jones coming, you got to understand he's moving at a different pace than you're accustomed to. You got to really get to that outside leg and contain him. Instead, another first down for the Atlanta Falcons.
There is Dirk Cutter, the new offensive coordinator this year for Atlanta.
Doing a great job. I think he's made this a more aggressive unit.
And Matt Ryan loves it. Trying to get it out to Lasaka Polite, the fullback, incomplete. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Expounding upon Dirk Cutter, not before this was a group that was just very methodical in everything they did. They wanted to grind it out. They played percentages. Sometimes you got to throw the percentages out and you got to attack people. Not sometimes, all the time if you want to be a championship team. We all know that where this team has failed is in the postseason. I think that will bode well for them in the postseason, that attack mentality.
2nd down and 10 from the 32. Ryan sees pressure. And there is Julio Jones on the wide receiver screen. Breaks some tackles. A flag is down, however. And so is Jones back around the 30 up to the 30-yard line. And the flag back at the line of scrimmage.
I think they're going to get his partner, Roddy White, who frees him on a block, on some sort of an illegal block, whether it be a hold or a block in the back.
This was a 37-yard gain that seems to be headed back. Now both players have to be more than a yard downfield for it to be an illegal pick, and now they're going to go back and spot the ball.
The offensive player was not beyond the expanded neutral zone when he made contact with the defense. The result of the play is a first down Atlanta.
And that's exactly the situation, and as a result, 37 yards and a first down.
And you see this, the illegal block going to take place right at the line of scrimmage, therefore not an illegal pick. Instead, a big gain for Julio Jones and the Atlanta Falcons. We've seen him go up top over him. Now we see him get the ball in his hands and let him use that speed in that way. This guy's a star in the making.
63 yards for a touchdown, 37 yards here on a different play. And the handoff is to Turner going off the left side. And Turner, tough to bring down, getting another first down for the Falcons to the 20-yard line.
And the big question coming out, we've talked about it, are they going to be able to stop the Falcons? The answer early in the second half is no.
That was an 11-yard gain, and Turner, who gets off to the slow start, he's averaged around 3 yards a carry the first 10 times he carries, and a 7 beyond that. So he certainly picks up steam. And the Eagle fans, with the winds picking up, don't like what they see. Ryan on first down. And Ryan saw nothing. And pressure by D'Amico Ryans. Incomplete. Knew where he was on the field to be able to throw, and knew that a target was in the neighborhood.
And I think a lot of Eagle fans who at one point were calling for the head of Juan Castillo are now saying maybe that wasn't so bad, because you look at their numbers defensively. The Eagles had been playing good football. The only thing they hadn't been doing is finishing. Todd Bowles, I think, is a really good football coach. Andy Reid felt like he had to make the decision. It's not looking real good today.
Well, they haven't gotten to Matt Ryan. They haven't hit him. They haven't sacked him. And he's had his way with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now flush from pocket, and will decide to get close to another first down. They're going to mark it at the 13, so he's a couple of yards shy with just under 9 minutes to go, and the boos are evident here at the link.
And here's what I'm talking about, finishing. I'm talking about finishing games. I'm talking about finishing a quarterback. They put quarterbacks under duress, but you've got to finish them. 152 opponent pass attempts without a sack, and this is for a group that's known for that. Led the league last year with 50 sacks.
Now it's 3rd down and 3 at the 13 of the Eagles.
Timeout, Atlanta.
And the Falcons will call a timeout. Mike Smith has to like what he's seen so far as the Falcons look to make it 7-0, first time in their history. You look at the total offense story, and everything's just about double with all those numbers. And the score is more than double. Falcons using a timeout, now looking at 3rd down and 3 from the 13 of the Eagles. And the rain has started. There's the shovel pass to Snelling, and Snelling will have a 1st and goal at the 5, getting 8 yards in the process. And again, as we said, the rain has begun here in Philadelphia. The wind's picking up somewhat.
Tremendous design by Dirk Cutter. Watch Julio Jones. He's going to go out, another decoy. That opens it wide open for Jason Snelling, using their star players to get in at guys like Snelling and Drew Davis that you wouldn't think would get the ball.
Turner, you would think, gets the ball, and he goes nowhere. The Eagles thought so, as Fletcher Cox was all over him. Loss of 1, and there you see the rain beginning here, and it's going to continue. They say the brunt of this Hurricane Sandy is expected to come into this area around Tuesday.
And as for Matt Ryan, we've asked him before. We asked him with this game, the weather, might it bother you? He said, John, I grew up in Philly. I played college ball at Boston College. The weather does not bother me.
They beat Maryland yesterday. Big win for the Eagles. Not today's Eagles, though. Second down. And Ryan's toss. And a flag is down. And Julio Jones signal for illegal touching. Came back in, or the signal also for stepping out and then coming in back in. So you can use it for several fouls.
We had that last weekend. If you're pushed out illegally or excuse me, legally, or you step out, you cannot be the first one to touch the football.
Illegal touching. Offense number 11. Receiver was out of bounds. Reestablished and was first to touch. The penalty is 5 yards. Replay second
So
down.
5-yard penalty, and that's how the Buccaneers Saints game ended last week.
And watch Julio Jones work in the back of the end zone. Kurt Coleman's going to give him a little nudge. Now he cannot. Remember, Matt Ryan's out of the pocket, so legally pushed, if nudged out of the back of the end zone, can't be the first one to touch it. Referees on it as they have been all day.
Second and goal, ball at the 11. Jones has caught 4 for 113. At the top of your picture, Ryan, and Matt Ryan goes down for the first time in the game. First sack of the game, and a derisive cheer from the Philadelphia fans, if you know about them. And it's Cedric Thornton with a loss of 5.
Well, you talk about sacking a quarterback, and it's a team effort. Good coverage on the outsides, and then finally someone finished in the middle. It was Cedric Thornton. And the Philly fans, they let him know we appreciate a good play. It's been a while.
Kind of a left-handed compliment, perhaps. They had no sacks in 3 games, but they have one here. So it's third and goal back at the 16. And here is Jacquez Rodgers. And Rodgers is tackled at the 11 by Kurt Coleman. And that will bring up 4th down. And the field goal team comes on for Atlanta. And an injured player, Brandon Boykin. Marty Gilliard suffered a hamstring injury, and he did not return to the game. Cullen Jenkins went out, and then he returned. And now Brandon Boykin, the rookie cornerback from Georgia.
Watch Boykin at the end of this play. Just gets tangled up. Looks like he should be fine. He's running off the field. And Dick, finally, they get off the field on 3rd down. But the unfortunate part for the Eagles is it's in field goal position.
Yeah, no punt.
Yes. No punt equals no Deshaun Jackson. No opportunity for explosive plays.
So a 29-yard attempt coming up for Matt Bryant. This is somewhat into the wind, but this kick is good.
You see Todd Bowles, the new defensive coordinator, and his group celebrating. Sometimes you got to celebrate the little victories. Life for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Falcons, who have scored on all 5 possessions today. The big play was the 37-yard pass to Julio Jones, picking up his 17th career 100-yard game, all 7 of them on the road. And you see Brandon Boykin healthy enough to come back on to return this kickoff. 6:10 remaining in the 3rd. Boykin from the 2. And Boykin brings it out to the 25-yard line. So Michael Vick, who needs to engineer a score for the Eagles in the latter stages of the 3rd quarter, comes on for the Philadelphia offense. Fox Sports is proud to partner with the Children's Organ Transplant Association during our NFL on Fox coverage. COTA is giving hope and making miracles for families whose children are facing transplants. To help change a child's life, please visit COTA.org/Fox Sports. First down at the 25, and nearly a pickoff by Stephen Nicholas. And the pass well short of Macklin, who was the target for Michael Vick on first down.
A really good play by Stephen Nicholas. Again, though, you want it to be a great play, intercept the ball, because you're going to hit your head on the goalpost if you're Stephen Nicholas, because nobody's out there. Michael Vick can't lock in like that.
Here's Vick, and he goes to Jackson, who's hit immediately by Moore. Have you seen the Falcons play any better this year?
They're 6-0, but this is the best they've been all year, and they've made life a little miserable on Michael Vick throughout the course of the day. Look at Michael Vick from the first series. That was the first third down. They sack him. He's getting a hit. He wants to run it. They're going to hit. They stress tackling during the bye week. They've done it extremely well, and Michael Vick starting to pay the price for it.
Holding on to his hip in that previous series. Third down and 10. And here's Vick. Can't find a receiver. Going to run, and not sure if he got there. Looks like he is short by a yard. Robert McLean, former Jaguar, prevents Vick from getting the first down.
And that's just coverage that forced Michael Vick. They're playing zone coverage. Everybody's covered. No one really making an attempt to come back and help him out. Michael Vick with an outstanding effort going for the first down, but he's short.
You know, you talk about the Falcons and the fact they're 6-0, and you say none of the teams they've beaten are over 500 right now, which is unfair because they were then. And they got tough games coming up, but this was their biggest test of the season. And they are passing it right now with flying colors.
It looks as if Andy Reid wants to challenge that spot, feeling like Michael Vick got across the first down line to gain.
First challenge of the game.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field as it relates to a first down.
And at first sight, it appeared as if he did have it. You see that left foot inbounds. Again, it's where the ball is when he touches out of bounds. That's going to be a tough one to call because it appears as if the ball carries. I think that may well be a first down.
You have to remember, indisputable visual evidence to reverse the call on the field that he was short of the first down.
And I think Andy Reid says it's worth a try at this point. Because even at this point, you hesitate to go for it on a fourth down.
They spotted the ball, John, a full yard behind the marker, and at worst, he's closer than that. Maybe a half a yard, or maybe the length of a football. Certainly not a yard.
It's where the ball crosses when it goes out of bounds, where the ball is when it crosses the sideline. Upon further review, I think that's going to be real tough to overturn. But Dick, back to the Falcons, you talk about who they've played. You know, you can only deal with who you're playing, and they've done it, and they've done it better than anybody in this league this year.
All right, Mike Pereira, his voice, not his face. We'd like to see his face, but we'll take his voice right here. Mike, what do you got?
You know, I don't think they changed the status. I think even if they move the ball a little bit forward, it's still short. And even if they move it, you lose the challenge. The only way you can win this challenge if they reverse this to make it a first down. And to me, the ball crosses the sideline there, which would appear to me to be well short of the line to gain. So I think the ruling stays as not being a first down.
All right, Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
And John, if you have like a length of a football, or do you think about it?
Well, it's 27-10. You know, it's real tough because but here's the other side. You have not stopped Matt Ryan all day. So maybe that's something you do. It wouldn't be traditionally, conventionally what you do, but in the circumstances that have surrounded today's game, I may do it.
Well, here comes Gene Steratore.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. When the runner is airborne as the ball crosses the sideline, it is 1 yard shy of the line to gain. Philadelphia will be charged with its first time out of the half. That is also Philadelphia's first challenge of the game.
So they're charged with a timeout, the first challenge, and they're 1 yard shy. So Matt McBriar is on, and Dominique Franks is back. We have not had any turnovers despite the early wins and the current rains in this game. Good kick by McBriar, fair catch. And they'll mark it around the 10. 5:03 to go in the third. Atlanta, remember, they have the ball. They've scored every time they've had it. After the game, Foxtoberfest continues, and so does our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader with America's Game of the Week, as Eli Manning and the Giants head to Dallas to take on Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Coverage of America's Game of the Week begins after our game here in Philadelphia. So an NFC East fight there, and there's the standings. Philadelphia right in the middle of it at 3-3, as Turner is going to lose some yardage thanks to D'Amico Ryans.
That's going to be a good football game down in Dallas. The New York Giants really starting to hit stride, but Dallas got to have some confidence. We've got these guys at home. We beat them on the road already. Sets up for a great game.
Meanwhile, Deshaun Jackson was on the trainer's table behind the bench, and obviously has an injury issue here. Second down at 12. From the 8-yard line, Ryan, and this time a late flag goes down as Gonzalez and Michael Kendricks got hooked up with their feet, and down they went.
Todd Bowles continues to try to bring some pressure. He said he would bring timely pressure. Again, when you bring pressure, you create one-on-ones. The Falcons are winning those one-on-one matches.
Kendricks claiming it was incidental with the tripping.
Pass interference, defense, number 95, spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
There they are right up here. Nnamdi Asomugha had a great point. Don't try to wrestle with Tony Gonzalez. You won't win that. Sting him and then get off him. Whether that's incidental or not, the referees call it, and a Hall of Famer gets it every time.
Didn't look incidental here. So an automatic first down, 14-yard penalty. And a first down up to the 22. Here is Turner, and Turner trying to break one, gets to the 29, and time for a game break. Let's check in again with Kurt.
Well, the Rams had a 7-0 lead at one point, but that's quickly disappeared and become a huge hole. Tom Brady, 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Brandon Lloyd, 38 unanswered by New England, 38-7 right now in the third quarter. Dick and John, they've had the ball 6 times, scored all 6.
Well, thank you, Kurt. It's almost like this one where the Falcons have scored all 5 times they've had it. And there is Jacquizz Rodgers breaking a tackle or more. And finally, they jump on him at the 29-yard line. Nate Allen had a chance to bring down Rodgers early. He didn't, and he paid the price.
Sounds like a broken record. You have to finish. In the backfield, you got him. Go get him, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Don't wait. That's good running by Jacquizz Rodgers, but more so bad defense by the Philadelphia Eagles. Nate Allen in the backfield, and then someone get the guy down. I tell you, that's a big boost if you can get Jacquizz Rodgers going for the Atlanta Falcons. He has yet to do that this year. Today, he's shown a lot of signs. Even worse news is Deshaun Jackson walking off the field now.
That was a 43-yard gain. And a first down at the 29, and the crowd chanting now as Snelling punishes the Eagles defense for a couple of yards here. Well, they changed the defensive coordinator. And now as Jackson goes into the locker room, the team's best wide receiver, the fans sitting there in the rain, and they're hardy fans here in Philadelphia. They're smart fans, they're good fans, but they don't take it all the time.
Yeah, you know, and there's going to be a lot of heat on Andy Reid. And Andy Reid's a great football coach. I believe that. I believe if Philly doesn't want him, there'll be plenty of people that do, but Andy's a fighter. He will not go easily.
2nd down and 9 at the 28 of the Eagles. Ryan has a wide open Julio Jones. Jones will get the 1st down inside the 20. And the Atlanta Falcons have been impeccable on offense today. 10 more yards.
And Dick, Juan Castillo lost his job because this team is not doing the little things, not finishing. Another example right here. You've got Julio Jones right there. Tackle him. You know, defensive coordinators can't tackle. Todd Bowles would love to get on the field. He can't anymore. Coaches coach. Players got to go play and make plays, and they've failed to do so today.
1st down on the 18. There's Turner. And you can see Eagles trying to grab the ball away to no avail. That was Cedric Thornton for a couple of yards. And, you know, the offense has managed only 1 touchdown. And that is the focus now for the organization and the fans about Michael Vick and his performance. There have been no turnovers today. And then, of course, it all rests on, as you mentioned, Andy Reid's shoulders.
And a large part of today, I think, with the offense is just they haven't been on the field enough. And why haven't you been on the field? Because your defense can't get off the field, which had been a strong point. 3rd down defense prior to today. 2nd
down and 9. Here is Ryan on a play action, has loads of time and can't find anyone and throws it away. And the tone was set, John, I think, on the very first drive of the game when the Falcons used 8 minutes, took advantage of 3 defensive penalties by the Eagles, and took a 7-0 lead.
Ball control, perfect execution. Then you go hammer it in with a touchdown. Great deception, faking it to Julio Jones, going to Drew Davis on his 2nd career reception. It's just been an awesome game plan for the Falcons and tremendous execution. Players making plays.
Mike Smith's Falcons virtually a shoo-in for the playoffs with 6 wins even coming into this one. But we know what their focus is. Here's the pass to Rodgers on the screen. Rodgers is tackled at the 13. Needs about 5 for a 1st down. They're 7 of 10 now in 3rd down tries. Not a bad percentage.
70% works.
Yeah.
That'll win you a championship if you're an offense going at that rate.
That'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Matt Ryan, 22 of 28 in the passing department, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Crowd not very happy. And that'll be end of the 3rd quarter. 27-10 Atlanta leads. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages. Word from your local Fox station. We start the 4th quarter. Dick Stockton, John Lynch, and Jennifer Hale, and Mike Smith content to let the clock run out so his kicker would have the wind at his back. I think from 30 yards it doesn't matter when I give you these numbers after this kick. Matt Bryant trying to make it 3 for 3 today. And the score now is 30-10. In the last 6 years, Matt Bryant from under 40 yards, 112 of 114.
That's good.
Well, there's a respondent Philadelphia audience here looking at that score and those numbers.
Well, and I think the key that right there, 58 plays to 35. I mean, these guys are becoming the Oregon Ducks of the NFL. They just get more plays than people. It's the tempo they play with. They convert 3rd down. That keeps them on the field. That works.
All right, let's check in with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, Eagles trainers were spending a lot of time on the lower left leg for Deshaun Jackson, testing his knee, his calf, his ankle. They were rubbing it. They had him doing one-legged leaps, trying to put weight on it, trying to get him back in this game. Right now, though, he's in the locker room, and we're waiting to hear if he'll be able to return or not. Dick?
All right, Jennifer. Jackson has caught 5 passes. Longest one, 32 yards. It's been the longest play of the game for the Eagles.
Good job by our cameraman right there, catching that, twisting that left ankle.
Vick goes down. John Abraham will get credit for the sack, his 7th of the year. Weatherspoon, though, set it up with the penetration. 2nd sack of the game for Atlanta.
And John Abraham now his 119th sack of his career. The active leader. John Abraham, we talked to him about the sack. He didn't get it there, but he said, every time I try to sack a quarterback, I want that ball out. 41 forced fumbles in his career. Incredible.
That is like blocking shots. If you play basketball, you want to knock it to a teammate, not out of bounds. He says, I want to knock the ball away, get it for my offense. There's the pressure again. Here is McCoy on the screen pass. Good bit of running by McCoy as he gets to within 2 yards of the first down. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Well, since Jennifer Hale's working the sideline there in Philly, wishing she had a dome, we thought we'd show you some highlights from a dome. Matthew Stafford of Detroit, 2 passing touchdowns, and that one rushing. He's got all the scoring for the Lions so far. 21-17 in the 4th quarter. They lead Seattle. Dick and John.
Well, Lions barely, but badly need this game.
Kurt throwing wounds on Jennifer. Salt on Jennifer's wounds.
That hurts. 3rd down and 2. Early here in the 4th quarter. Vick. Michael Vick will get the first down and gets tripped up by Weatherspoon. Gets the first down, but the Falcons are doing a phenomenal job, John, in the secondary against those receivers.
Offside. Defense number 55. That penalty is declined.
They'll decline the Abraham offsides penalty. Take the 13 yards.
They really are doing a great job in the defensive backfield. They haven't had what their signature has been this year, which is turnovers, but they've played a very sound game. They talked about fundamentals during their bye week. Tackling, they practiced it. They went back to the basic fundamentals of football. How do you tackle, and it showed up today.
First down, and the handoff is to LeSean McCoy. He's run well the last couple of times. May have backed his way into another first down to midfield. 10-yard gain. As right now the Eagles with Deshaun Jackson in the locker room, as Jennifer Hale mentioned, Riley Cooper and Jason Avant out there as receivers now, along with Macklin. First down midfield. McCoy again. And McCoy picking up 4.
No, we saw those standings earlier. You see the New York Giants out ahead. Who knows what's going to happen down there? At the end of this day, the Eagles, they're only going to be 3 and 4 if the Falcons hold on, which it looks like will happen. You're right in this thing, but what you've seen on the field, that's the problem. It hasn't been very good at all by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Good tackle there by Dante Robinson on Macklin and a loss of 3, but you're absolutely right. That's why you could not call this game a must game for the Eagles. You can't at 3 and 3 with the 10 games remaining, because you can always run off a long winning streak and get back in.
You're right, but I think what's a must right now, you're down 30-10, start getting the ball downfield. Look, I understand a game plan coming in. They're going to play off, take what they give you. That's out the door right now. You got to go on the attack and start getting the ball downfield with some urgency.
I can't believe they could not take a shot at all yet in this game. There's a deflection as Abraham got a piece of that sidearm pass by Vick. Redskins losing today, 27-12. They're losing, they're trailing. And the Giants, Cowboys, as you mentioned, coming up.
You see John Abraham right there. He's in a 2-point stance. One of the things, and that's new this year, his defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan, has given him the freedom. He says he likes it because he can see everything on the field, including the quarterback. He clearly sees Vick there, gets his hands up. This guy's a great player. 3 sacks last week, 1 this week. He's on fire. 4th
down and 9. The Eagles have no choice here. Down by 20 points. Vick's pass caught by Selleck, and the first down to the 35 of the Falcons. So they needed 9, they got 14, and they moved the chains. First down.
Nice job by King Dunlap on John Abraham. Not an easy guy to protect. Michael Vick with a nice throw to Brent Selleck. Tell you, it's a thing of beauty when Michael Vick throws the football with time, because he has unbelievable arm talent. The ball comes out prettier, I think, than anybody in this league.
Hand off to McCoy. McCoy close to another first down. And there is Deshaun Jackson, who is back out. They're taping up his left ankle. And it looks like Jackson going to get back in to the game. First down for the Eagles. They're at the 25 of Atlanta. Play action. Pass caught by Avant, and he gets 9 yards. Little rhythm that we're seeing here by the Eagle offense, perhaps for the first time.
Little rhythm and some throws downfield, which I think is important. Look, you aren't going to get the straight goes right now because the corners are playing off 10 yards. But plays like that, intermediate routes as they call them in the NFL at 10 yards, those are there for the taking.
Second down and 1. And they go to McCoy, and he's going to lose a couple. Let's credit Abraham and then Robert McClain, the cornerback, from forcing the play. And there you see DeSean Jackson, who did have x-rays taken on that left ankle, we understand, and now limbering up and hoping to get back in there. Question is, how does he feel? So now third down and 2. It was second and 1, now third and 2, and they have 2 downs to get the first down. They're going to try McCoy. That's all McCoy. All McCoy. Tough yards after looking like he was trapped. He gets 3 and a first down for Philly.
This kid's an outstanding football player, is LaShawn McCoy. First team Pro Bowl, all pro last year. He does this all on his own. They're in the backfield. He eludes 2 guys. Then he's going to elude a third and a fourth and wiggle off and spin for a fourth and a fifth. That's just an outstanding individual effort by LaShawn McCoy.
Sean Weatherspoon is shaken up for the Falcons. That's a key man. It's the first time one of the Falcons has been injured today. Will return. Sean Weatherspoon walked off on his own power. That doesn't mean he's all right. He's replaced by Akeem Dent. Meanwhile, DeSean Jackson, who had the x-rays, is back on the field.
I'll tell you this about Sean Weatherspoon, a guy they can ill afford to lose. He is an excellent football player, really one of the better ones on this defense, in this league for that matter, at his position.
First down for the Eagles on the Falcon 14. Vick, short crossing pattern, and he gets it to Macklin, and it'll be first and goal now for the Eagles at the 4-yard line.
If you're the Falcons, you're doing exactly, I know it frustrates people, but you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Make them earn everything they get. Keep the ball in front of you, and now you buckle up down here inside the 5-yard line.
First and goal. And here's McCoy, and McCoy is going to lose about 3.5. And Akeem Dent, who came into the game to replace the injured Weatherspoon, and a 3-yard loss, bringing up second and goal. And at this rate, as you see Weatherspoon being worked on, the last thing the Eagles need, down by 20, is a delay before they get in.
Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, the clock is ticking.
Sounds like a show that goes on where you see that stopwatch. I forget. Second down and goal. Here comes the Falcons defense, and Vick in trouble. Avant, intended receiver, and Vick just had to hurdle it away. And that was William Moore on a safety blitz. And you can almost see the Falcons ready to come.
Michael Vick knew that they were coming with pressure, looked out to his left first, and then out to the right, and that head coming back and hitting the turf. He's taken some tough hits today, to be sure.
Has he ever? Now they move Weatherspoon to another area on the cart, and they're going to take him out. Officials are going to talk something over here. And you're right about Weatherspoon. You talk about
the game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 7 minutes, 23 seconds. The play clock to 27 seconds. Thank you.
Adjusting the play clock and the game clock. But along with Abraham, the heart of this defense.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how we talk about teams' prospects down the end of the year. We never consider key injuries.
A lot of it is who can stay healthy or who can be healthy at the right time.
3rd and goal. Remember, the Eagles will have 2 downs to try to get it in the end zone. Here's a screen to McCoy. Touchdown. LeSean McCoy. Almost a middle screen. Almost. And they get the touchdown.
I think a good game plan for the Eagles. When in doubt, get it in 25's hands, because good things happen when the ball's in his hands. He can't have it enough in my mind. Shady McCoy. LeSean McCoy doesn't do this alone. Look at Jason Avant, the center, Dallas Reynolds, just getting in front of your people. And that's really, you don't have to maul someone in front of you with LeSean McCoy. Just get in front of him. He'll do the rest.
Alex Henry with the conversion, and it's now 30-17 with 7:18 to go. McCoy with his 2nd touchdown of the game. First as a runner, this as a receiver, and the Eagles come back with one. America's Game of the Week coming up next. A big one, the Giants against the Cowboys down in Dallas. And right now the Falcons are expecting an onside kick from Alex Henry. Rodgers is back at the 15 just in case. And they kick it long, and Rodgers has trouble finding the handle, and he's going to go down at the 15-yard line as we check in with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, the Falcons, Sean Weatherspoon, is in the locker room with an ankle injury. Interesting, because the Eagles just replaced the turf in the center of this field. So if players are looking for the best footing, they don't want to be on the outside like Weatherspoon is. They want to stay in that middle horizontal strip running end zone to end zone. Monday, as of Monday, 15,000 square feet of new sod there. So that's going to be the thickest area for the best footing. These sideline areas, sides of the field, that's going to be pretty thin and slippery. Dick?
That sounds great, Dick, but when LeSean McCoy goes outside, Sean Witherspoon's got to go outside, and you just hope that he's healthy.
New definition of a game of inches. Here is Turner. Michael Turner going outside and is tackled at the 20, picking up 6 yards. Eagles electing to kick it deep. Of course, if you don't get the onside kick, the Falcons, who are 6 for 6 in their possessions and scoring today, would have an easy time of it.
There you go. And this is where it's critical to be able to run the football. They talk about, is that a thing of the past in the NFL? I know this. You have to be able to run the football when you want to run the football. When you're up 30-17, you got to be able to clock out a game by running the football.
2nd down and 4. They're going to try to run it here with Turner, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. Even Bill Walsh's San Francisco 49ers teams with the West Coast offense led the team in rushing because they had leads and then would use the clock in the second half.
It's a fallacy. People that say Bill Walsh didn't believe in the run game. I played for him at Stanford. He believed first and foremost in the run game. Sometimes the only caveat was he felt like the short passing game was an extension of the run game. Looks like the ball's out. It's whether they called the play over. The whistle had blown, I believe, signaling the play dead.
Kurt Coleman's helmet was over as well. 3rd down and 4 on the sprint out, and there is Gonzalez. The pass is incomplete, so they go to the money man who normally catches all the big ones. It's 4th down, and the Falcons will kick with 5:35 to go in a 13-point game.
And I tell you, if you're Todd Bowles, you say someone finally smoking a cigar because someone finished a play. No more close, but no cigar. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie with a big play, getting the ball out from Tony Gonzalez.
And for the first time today, the Eagles defense has stopped the Falcons from scoring. Now 6 for 7. Brandon Boykin to field this punt at the 28. Avoids one defender and then falls and slides. Field is wet with the heavy rain, and he goes down at the 35. Despite the best start in their history, the only unbeaten team, 6-0 Falcons, yet people question, are they for real? Are they that good? And as my partner John Lynch said, hey, they're 6-0 and they've won every game. Can't argue with that. As he said, don't hate, congratulate. And that's what the Falcons have brought upon themselves, and as they lead 30-17, 5:24 to go in the fourth. First down for the Eagles on their 35. There's Michael Vick. Fake handoff, and the pass off the hands of Macklin, incomplete, and claiming there should be a flag, and there is. Penalty marker down at midfield. Stephen Nicholas.
And really just a foolish penalty. It's going to be a late hit
After
on.
the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 54, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That will enrage Mike Smith.
Yeah, because Mike Smith, I mean, this is the least penalized team in the NFL. You're going to see the ball come off Macklin's hands, and way after the play, Nicholas go, and it just doesn't make sense. Big time mistake. And talking about congratulating, you congratulate the Eagles. All of a sudden, we got 13-point game. They're driving. They got the ball back finally. Life for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Two-possession game right now with 5:19 to play. Here's Michael Vick, and the pass glancing off the hands of Jeremy Macklin, bringing up second down and 10. And tell me about the conditions now as far as the passing game.
Well, you know, one thing in the rain, sometimes you got to take those gloves and throw them off because the gloves become soaked in rain. I always used to throw the gloves off once the rain started because I could catch better with my hands. It does become an issue, but can't be an excuse. You got to catch the ball.
A lot of people thought you had the gloves on. Second down and 10, and they'll hand off to McCoy. Bounces off and goes out to the right. No chance there as the Falcons, good pursuit, led by Chris Owens and Asante Samuel. And McCoy will lose 2 in the process.
He is fun to watch, even on a minus 2-yard run. He makes so much happen, and Andy Reid said it best. He's happy every day, and we sat down with him, Dick. What a great personality. He said, why wouldn't I be happy? I get a chance to play the game I love, and he plays it very well.
And he had that flashing smile with us the entire time we talked to him. Third down and 12, and getting a piece of that ball, and pressure by McClain.
We've been showing the hits that Michael Vick's been taking. Look at this is the effect. He flinches a little there. He knows the blitzer's coming, and he's not so sure about standing in there anymore. And that's why people say all the time, they aren't trying to hurt anyone, but when they say we got to hit the quarterback, because that's the effect when you do hit a quarterback, they get a little nervous.
Well, no one hit the ball, but McClain certainly hit Vick. Fourth down and 12. They converted a fourth down and long the last time they had the ball, and then eventually scored a touchdown. And the pass is incomplete, intended for Jackson, nowhere near, and so the Falcons will take over on downs. Well, we talked about the Falcons and the fact that they're headed for 7-0 and just about the division assured. But what about the Philadelphia Eagles? Where does this team go now? They're 3-4 if they lose this game, but as you mentioned, you know, still obviously in the race.
Yeah, I think if I'm the Eagles, I'm not worried about my record. I'm worried about fixing what's ailing us. And we saw it on defense. It's been the problem all year, not finishing games, not finishing plays. You got to finish things. Offensively, you felt like they had rhythm at times, but then you got to cash in. You got to score points. They've moved the ball all year. You got to cash in and score touchdowns in this league to compete with the big boys.
Hand off to Turner on first down, and they solved the problems, at least for this game, as far as the turnovers, but not as far as the fast starts, as the Falcons went down the field on their first possession using 8 minutes to score. So as we look at the Eagles, they got you look at that schedule, and I don't see a breather for a while, if at all.
Not many easy ones, because New Orleans is starting to play some good football, at least offensively. Dallas, a good football team. Washington, always tough. Carolina, not so good, but they played Chicago tough today, and Cam Newton, you just never know. Tough schedule, to say the least, and that's what typically happens when you're in the NFC East. Tough schedule, because all your division opponents can play.
Now this is a team, as you look at Nick Foles, and you wonder if he's going to get an opportunity before the end of this game. Second down and 6. in Eagle territory. Here is Turner again. And Turner is tackled by D'Amico Ryans at a loss of 1.
Philadelphia, 30 seconds, timeout.
And the Eagles call a timeout. It is their third and final timeout.
And Dick, you talk about the Atlanta Falcons. I think a lot of people looking for cracks in their armor, but people want to know, all right, we know they can be good during the regular season. Is this a team that can thrive during the postseason? The Falcons I'm seeing this year, I believe they can thrive. I think here's what's changed. On defense, they take the football away. Their stats aren't great. The one thing they do, they take it away. And on offense, I think they're a more aggressive unit. I think that guy, number 2, he's a better quarterback in year 5 than he was year 4. And he was really good in year 4.
I think there's no question about it, and content to sit down against the rush is Matt Ryan. And that was Cullen Jenkins who came in on him. But the key for the Atlanta Falcons, as we all know, is the postseason. That's where they have come up empty. Even when they were 13-3, lost to the Green Bay Packers at the Georgia Dome. And so all the moves that Atlanta has made is for one reason, and that is to win in the postseason. Last year, scoring only 2 points against the Giants in their first playoff game, going down again.
And they've got so many weapons. They made a bold trade last year for Julio Jones. Gave up a lot of draft picks. We saw today what Julio Jones can do for your offense. He's a game breaker. And when you couple that with a Roddy White, with a Tony Gonzalez, with a Michael Turner, that's tough for any defense to stop. And
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
as we hear Gene Steratore, but we know about this league right now. You get to the playoffs, you better score points.
Well, Atlanta with a 4-game lead in the NFC South, and it doesn't look like they're going to get a challenge to lose that division. So they are playing for seed and playing really for postseason. I mean, they just have to be geared up when the postseason begins. They passed the tests up to that point. So Bosher kicking to Boykin, and the kick is blocked. And the ball will stop at the 42, and it was Casey Matthews, the Eagle linebacker, who started today for Michael Kendricks, who didn't play a series because of disciplinary reasons. Matthews started, blocks the here.
Now that's finishing. Watch Casey Matthews right up the middle, can extend that right hand. That's a great effort by Casey Matthews.
So the Eagles will get the ball on their own 42.
See that long hair flowing, you must know Matthews is somewhere around.
No more timeouts for the Eagles. And Vick, chased from behind, is dropped by Croy Bierman. And a loss on the play. And again, the fast starts that have avoided the Eagles all year, and again couldn't stop the opposition.
They couldn't stop Croy Bierman here. That's all-out effort by Croy Bierman. Vick never had a chance. Herman's the right tackle beat. Croy Bierman's been a very valuable player. Only his 2nd sack of the year, but he's having an effect all over the field for the Atlanta Falcons.
And Vick with the completion to Avant. And Avant still 9 yards short of a first down after that reception, going out of bounds, stops the clock at 3:17 in a 2-score game. And anytime you have a 2-score game, you got to be wary, especially with the possibility of the onside kick and maybe the conditions out here.
And a big 3rd down here. Again, this is 2-down territory where they're going to go for it. This offensive line needs to stand up right now. Give Michael Vick some time.
3rd and 10. Nowhere near the intended receiver, but a penalty flag is down back behind the line of scrimmage. And holding is the call, preliminary against Philly.
Offense, number 79, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
Todd Herremans.
See, Herremans having a rough series. We saw him beat by Croy Bierman earlier. Mike Smith talked about holding penalties being as valuable as sacks. John Abraham last week versus Oakland, we wanted to talk about the 3 sacks. He said, John, what about the 3 holding penalties in addition? Those are as good as a sack.
Speaking of sacks, Eagles haven't gotten to Matt Ryan today. Well, maybe a couple of times, but really no real pressures. He was able to execute the offense, and he did it brilliantly. Here's Michael Vick, tripped up from behind on 3rd and long, and now it'll be 4th and long. And once again, Bierman, who just had the sack on Vick, gets him from behind.
Watch this effort by Kroy Bierman. Relentless effort. He gets Brent Selleck on him. Okay, here comes the fullback Havili. Here comes Hermans. 3 guys try to block him. That's all out hustle at the end of a game. That's effort. That will win you football games, and that will win you playoff games.
So now 4th down and 18. And a one-hopper to Stanley Havili, and the Falcons will take over on downs. Game break time. Let's check in now with Patrick O'Neill.
All right, Dick, thanks. Up next on Fox, America's Game of the Week. The 5-2 Giants behind Mr. Smooth, Eli Manning. 3-3 Cowboys. All eyes on Tony Romo. Tom, Troy, and Pam have the call next on Fox. Dick and John.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. So we've had a dismal day, dismal performance by the Philadelphia Eagles on both sides of the ball. Michael Vick, 19 of 33, 172 yards. 1 touchdown. Maybe the amazing thing today with the wind and then the rain, we have not had a turnover.
Unbelievable.
So Matt Ryan taking over at the 34 of Philadelphia. Gives to Michael Turner. And all this does is use the clock, and that'll get us down to the 2-minute warning after a 3-yard pickup. So a lot of close games for Mike Smith's team. They've won a lot of games without their A game, which marks a solid team, and they've won the last 3 by a total of 12 points. This one more of a breather. The Delaware River is starting to get higher with this storm. As we remind you, coming up, it's the Motorola Game Break. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will be along with scores and highlights. Blowout in London. And RG3 going against the Pittsburgh Steelers in those old uniforms. Here is Turner with the run. So our 2-minute warning, and now the Falcons using the clock in a 30-17 game. So this will end Andy Reid's perfect record of 13-0 after bye weeks. He'll drop to 13-1. Mike Smith is building something at 4-1.
The Atlanta Falcons celebrating, and as well they should. They look like a very good football team today, taking care of their business. See the first win in Philadelphia in 24 years for the Atlanta Falcons, and they earned it today.
They're singing in the rain. The Atlanta Falcons are, and for Matt Ryan in particular, returning home. Grew up in suburban Exton, and as we mentioned, he went to William Penn Charter School in Germantown. 0-2 in his previous starts here in Philadelphia. And as we mentioned, up to 100 family members. It's going to be a happy tailgate for them after the game, as wet as they may be. And completions to 7 different targets today for Ryan. Started it all by going to kind of a new guy, Drew Davis, for a touchdown, who started for the injured Harry Douglas. Julio Jones. Big game for him and a 63-yard catch. They set the tone early to the Falcons and never let their foot up off the pedal. 4th down and 6, and Snelling on the shovel pass. A flag is down, however, at the 35. It'll be offsides against Philadelphia. So they'll get 5 yards. It'll be 4th and 1.
Offside. Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
And it's also a banner day for Mike Smith, because by winning this game, it'll be his 50th victory as head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, making him the all-time winningest Falcon coach.
And I tell you what, look, to be considered great, you've got to win in the postseason. but this guy is a really good football coach. I love the way he approached the bye, 6-0. Take a hard look at yourself. What can we do better? They worked on it, they focused on it, and it showed up on the field today. They're 7-0.
4th down and 1, and here is Turner, and he won't get there. And you were really impressed with the self-scouting despite the undefeated record. You've been on winning teams before, and you've seen it here today, and so tempers flare right at the end of this game. And the frustration on the part of the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't know who started this one, but this was a rough day for Philadelphia all the way.
It was, and that's unlike Tony Gonzalez. He doesn't get in that. Tony Gonzalez and Trent Cole, they got into it right there.
Well, you're right. The Eagles are going to go to 3-4, but they've got to play better. Forget about what their record is.
That's right. Can't worry about the record. You can worry about what's put you in that situation, and they've got to play better. I mean, guys have lost their jobs. The antenna should be up, but ultimately you got to show up on the field, and they haven't done it today.
Reminder coming up, the Motorola Game Break Show, bring you up to date on everything. So the bye week, change in defensive coordinators. This was a team that really felt that they could get it done today. Andy Reid was very positive when we saw him the other day.
After the play, personal foul. Defense number 58, personal foul offense number 88.
That's Trent Cole.
This was after the play. It's 1st down Philadelphia.
15 seconds to go. But the rough times for the Eagles continue.
They do, and they were a confident bunch. They practiced well. We were at practice. It was an extremely sharp and focused practice. I think they ran into a better team today right now in the Atlanta Falcons, and the Atlanta Falcons sure showed that.
And the pass is caught by McCoy as he goes out of bounds with 10 seconds to go. The Falcons never trailed today. They took a 14-0 lead early on 2 touchdown passes by Matt Ryan. They scored touchdowns on their first 6 possessions of the game. Eagles came back, and then Atlanta kept it up. And an impressive win by the Falcons. And looking at the big picture, easily the best victory of the season for them. And final seconds.
Now they're just going to have some fun.
Jason Avant. And that'll do it.
The end of the game.
The game is over, and the Atlanta Falcons go to 7-0. Still their best start in history. 6-0 was, and they add to that Matt Ryan. Great win for them. So for John Lynch and Jennifer Hale, Dick Stockton saying so long as the Falcons beat the Eagles.